Good morning, I'm Alan Latter from SmartWorks. This morning I want to talk to you a little bit about payroll. Payroll is not as simple as what you think. Many of us, when we think about payroll, will simply think, okay, well, there's my payslip, and I just put there's my gross salary and my deductions and my net salary. Well, it's a little more complicated than that. The Basic Conditions of Employment Act prescribes for us how to work out that part of it. And I don't know if you can see it nicely on this video, but it prescribes for us how to work out the working hour, the pay, the gross pay. It prescribes normal time, time and a half, double time. It prescribes how we apply that, when we apply that. It defines that for us. It defines what times a person can be away from their workstation, producing nothing for you as an employer, but that value is covered prior. I'm talking there about things like sick leave, annual leave, compassionate leave, etc. So in all of these, sorry, they call it family responsibility leave today. And so in all of these, there's the calculation itself is complex. Now, remember, under the Labour Relations Act, a bargaining council can formulate an agreement that is signed off by the Minister of Labour, and it now can overshadow that, and it now mandates certain areas where you might earn, instead of time and a half, you might earn time and a third for a period, and there's all kinds of different, and so under your industry specific, there could be interpretations of when you're earning normal time, time and a half, double time. And if you fall foul of this, you can pick up problems with the Labour Department, you can pick up problems with this, at the CCMA, and you can pick up problems with trade unions. Now, this is a small pitfall. This is just calculating. All we're calculating it up to now, all I've been talking about is the calculation involved with calculating your employee's normal gross salary, his gross remuneration. And I'm assuming, obviously it's easy if the person earns a flat rate or a flat fee. I'm talking here where they are earning so much per hour. But even then, even if they earn a flat fee, you need to be aware that as soon as they've exceeded leave, you might have a deduction based on unpaid leave, etc. So this becomes a little more technical. Now we come to deductions. The next point is deductions. And it's important when you're looking at deductions, you've got your statutory deductions, which are PAYE, UIF, Skills Development Levy. If they're part of a unionized situation, it would be their union dues. It might be pension, might be medical aid, might be other voluntary deductions. Now, pension, medical aid are voluntary deductions, even if they're not voluntary in terms of your company. From a statutory point of view, they're seen as voluntary, not statutory. But they affect everything. So if you've got a pension deduction, it affects how much PAYE is paid, etc. You as an employer have a responsibility to the receiver to ensure that the correct deductions are taken, particularly in terms of PAYE, UIF, and Skills Development Levy. So, and who contributes what? Because you're taking a deduction off of the staff, for instance, for PAYE and for UIF, but with UIF it's also a cost to company. And so it's quantifying all of that in your payroll. And I'm just very briefly looking at the elements involved in payroll. So now you've done your gross salary, you've done your deductions, obviously your bottom of your pay slip is your net salary. It's your gross salary minus your deductions, shown as a net salary. And what I've shared with you now is just some knowledge, some information, so that you understand the complexity involved with producing a pay slip. Now, a lot of automated systems can do this. Now, here's something interesting. You as a business person are responsible. So you can go and buy a package off of a shelf and put it there, and you set it up and you run it. And every month you press the payslip button and no problem, it generates a payslip. Number one, you might be overpaying your staff. Number two, you may not have set it up correctly. And number three, you're still responsible. Those are 3 pitfalls of doing your own payroll. You, even on an automated system, you are still responsible. You are the owner. The Labour Department knocks on the door because of a complaint, because someone goes and gets clever. And folks, I've worked for 10 years, I worked for a non-profit organization where people would arrive at the gate with nothing. And at the peak, when you were feeding them, clothing them, they were working, they had income, they had everything at their best, they would turn on you. And suddenly, your best worker becomes your biggest nightmare. But when they question that payslip and the receiver, the Labour Department comes to see you, or the receiver comes to see you on a UIF basis or deductions basis, and they come and they have a look and they say to you, who's the owner? You are responsible. They're not going to say, oh, your program is faulty, your program was badly set up. They're going to say, you the owner, you're responsible. It's your obligation to pay your staff correctly. If you're overpaying the staff member, he's not going to complain. If you're underpaying him, you not necessarily will say, they do have mercy, but you can pick up penalties because you've done it wrong. Ignorance of the law is no excuse of the law. So I put that to you, and just some information. It gives you some ammunition to consider whether you are doing a wise thing, doing your own payroll, or whether you rather should pay somebody like a SmartWorks who would do your payroll for you. Now, just going to put in a little punch here at the end. The benefits of going with a company like SmartWorks is, number one, we're small enough that you would have someone like myself build a relationship with your company and get to know your company well. But at the same time, we're big enough because I would be bringing that information back and introducing others into the fray, that there would be a team of us, that if something happened to me, all that information isn't lost. It's not just my opinion, it will be the collective opinion. When you've got a problem on your site, I will come back and say, listen, there's a problem. This is what X and Y and Z. There's a team that work together. Together we have close to 50 years of experience with payroll, and with, obviously, we also do services like HR and IR. Just some food for thought. I hope that there's been some information that maybe has taught you perhaps an area you're not looking at in your payroll, which you need to go and look at. Again, if you are interested in a quote or a assessment, free assessment of your situation to see where we can save you money, whether on payroll or other things, please contact us, Alan, on 071 883 7140, or you can send me a message below this video on the Facebook page, or via Facebook, and someone will come and see you, and we will do an assessment and a proposal for your business. Thank you. Have a great day and be safe.